For 10 years I loved you, I gave you everything. And this is what you do. You try to kill me? Why, Adora, what did I do to deserve this? I'm so sorry, my husband. Please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. Please don't call the police. Think of our 10 years together. Think of everything we've been through. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. This is attempted murder. We must involve the police. This is bigger than a family issue. Madame Adora, after everything Olga did for you, how could you do this? This is wickedness. What do you think was Madame Adora's reason for killing her husband? Hey, Bestie. You know how life in Africa can be, full of drama, love, and unexpected turns. Today's story is one of those that will make you laugh, think, and maybe even tear up a little. So grab your tea, get comfortable. Please leave us a comment in the comment section, as we would love to know where you are watching from, and let your bestie tell you a story. There was a very rich man named Colonel Balogun. He lived in a huge mansion in Lekki, Lagos, with tall gates and beautiful gardens. Colonel was a billionaire who owned many companies and banks across Nigeria. Everyone in the city knew his name. When he drove past in his expensive cars, people would stop and stare. Some waved. Some whispered. He had everything money could buy, but he did not know that danger was living right inside his own house. Colonel had been married to his wife, Adora, for 10 long years. Adora was a stunning woman with smooth skin and bright eyes. She always wore the finest clothes from London and Paris. Her jewelry sparkled like stars in the Lagos night sky. Everywhere they went together, cameras flashed and people whispered, "Look at them! What a perfect couple! What a beautiful life!" But behind the closed doors of their mansion, things were not perfect at all. Over the years, Adora's heart had grown cold. She no longer smiled at Colonel the way she used to. She no longer held his hand or asked about his day. When Colonel came home tired from work, she barely looked up from her phone. She was always busy, always distant, always somewhere else in her mind. Colonel tried everything to make his wife happy. He bought her more jewelry, more designer bags, more cars, more houses in different parts of the world. He took her on expensive vacations to islands with white sand and clear blue water. He gave her credit cards with no limit. Whatever Adora wanted, Colonel provided, but nothing satisfied her. Her eyes were never full. Her heart was never content. One day, Adora complained that the house was too big for her to manage alone. "I need help with cooking and cleaning," she told Colonel. So Colonel decided to hire a maid. He put out an advertisement, and many women came for interviews. But one young woman stood out. Her name was Saad. Saad was simple and humble, with kind eyes. She came from a small village in Kogi State, far from Lagos. Her village had no constant electricity and no clean water. Life there was hard. Saada's mother was sick with a terrible disease. The village doctor said she needed expensive medicine and treatment in a big city hospital. But Saada's family had no money. So Saad decided to leave her village and come to Lagos to find work. The journey to the city was long and difficult. She traveled for 2 whole days on buses and trucks. She had never been to Lagos before. When she arrived, she was amazed and frightened at the same time. The buildings were so tall they seemed to touch the clouds. The cars moved so fast they looked like they were flying. There were more people on one street than in her entire village. Everything was strange and new. Saad had nowhere to sleep when she first arrived. She spent 3 nights sleeping under a bridge with other poor people. She was scared and lonely. She missed her mother, but she refused to give up. Every day, she walked around looking for work. She asked at restaurants, shops, and houses. Most people said no. Some were rude. But Saad kept trying because her mother needed her. One day, she saw the advertisement for a maid at Mr. Colonel Balogun's mansion. She prayed silently, "Lord, please let me get this job. I need to help my mother." She went for the interview wearing her only good dress. It was old and faded, but clean. When Colonel saw her, he noticed something different. Saad looked him straight in the eyes when she spoke. She did not look down or away. She was honest and sincere. Colonel asked her many questions. "Why do you need this job? Where is your family? What do you know about housework?" Saad answered every question truthfully. She told him about her sick mother. She told him about her poor village. She told him she was a hard worker and would never steal or lie. She said all she wanted was a chance to prove herself and help her family. Something about Sod touched Cunnel's heart. Maybe it was her honest eyes. Maybe it was her humble spirit. Maybe it was the way she spoke about her mother with so much love. Whatever it was, Cunnel decided to hire her. "You can start tomorrow," he said. Sod fell to her knees, thanking him as tears ran down her face. "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I will work very hard, I promise." Sod started work the next morning. She arrived before the sun came up. The mansion was the biggest house she had ever seen. It had 20 rooms, 5 bathrooms, a swimming pool and gardens filled with flowers of every color. In her village, 10 families lived in houses smaller than Cunnel's kitchen. But Sod did not feel jealous. She felt grateful. The first few days were hard. She had to learn how to use the washing machine and vacuum cleaner. In her village, they washed clothes in the stream and swept floors with bunches of grass. But Sod was smart. She watched carefully and asked questions. Within a week, she knew how to do everything. She woke up at 5 a.m. every day. She cleaned every room until it sparkled. She cooked delicious local meals that reminded Cunnel of his grandmother's cooking. She washed and ironed all the clothes neatly. She never complained, never asked for unnecessary breaks. She was always polite and respectful. Cunnel was very impressed. But Adora did not like Sod at all. From the very first day, Adora watched the new maid with suspicious eyes. She didn't like how humble Sod was. She didn't like how hardworking she was. She didn't like how Cunnel praised Sod's cooking. Adora felt threatened, even though Sod was just a poor village girl. She started treating Sod badly. She would make her clean the same room 3 times. She would complain that the food was too salty or not salty enough. She would shout at Sod for tiny mistakes. When Cunnel wasn't around, Adora's true nature came out. She was mean, cruel, and insulting. But Sod never complained. She just worked harder and stayed respectful. 3 months after Sod started working, something strange began to happen. A man started coming to the mansion. His name was Kola. He was tall and handsome, with smooth-talking words and an expensive car. He always came during the day when Cunnel was at work. The first time he came, Adora introduced him to Sod as her cousin visiting from Abuja. But Sod noticed something was wrong. Cousins did not look at each other the way Adora and Kola looked at each other. Their eyes held secrets. Their smiles were too wide. Their laughter was too loud. When they thought no one was watching, Kola would touch Adora's hand. She would lean close and whisper in his ear. This was not how cousins behaved. Sod knew it, but she said nothing. Kola started visiting more and more. From once a week, to twice, to almost every day. He arrived not long after Cunnel left for work and stayed for hours. Sometimes Sod heard them laughing in the living room. Sometimes they went into the bedroom and locked the door. Sod's heart grew heavy with what she was seeing. One day, Sod was cleaning near the living room when she heard Adora and Kola talking. They did not know she was there. She heard Kola ask, "When are you going to leave him?" Adora replied, "I can't just leave. If I divorce him just like that, I get almost nothing. I need to get the money first. We need a better plan. A plan where I get everything." Sod's hand started shaking. Kola's voice dropped. "What kind of plan?" Adora laughed softly. "A plan where Cunnel is no longer in the picture. Where he cannot stop us from being together. Where all his wealth becomes mine, and then ours. Do you understand me?" There was silence. Then Kola said quietly, "Adora, that's dangerous. Are you sure?" "I'm very sure," she answered. "I'm tired of pretending." Sod's heart pounded. Were they planning to hurt Cunnel? Kill him? She wanted to run and tell him immediately, but fear held her back. What if they denied it and accused her of lying? What if Adora fired her and she lost her job? Her mother still needed medicine. That night, Sod could not sleep. She prayed, "God, please show me what to do. Please protect Master Cunnel from evil. Please give me courage." The next day, she decided she would watch Adora closely. She would not let her out of her sight. Days passed. Adora started asking more and more about Cunnel's schedule. "When is your big meeting? What time will you be home? Are you traveling next week?" Cunnel thought his wife was finally taking interest in his life. He was happy, but Sod knew better. Adora was planning something evil. One evening, Sod saw Adora in the garden talking on the phone. Sod was watering flowers nearby. She heard her say, "I found it. The perfect thing. It has no taste, no smell. He will never know. It will look like a heart attack. Natural causes. No one will suspect anything. We just need the perfect day. Then we'll be free and rich." Sod's stomach turned. Now she was sure. Adora was planning to poison Cunnel. She went to her small room and cried. Her own mother was sick and suffering, but would never hurt anyone for money. How could somebody be so evil? 2 weeks later, on a Friday afternoon, Cunnel came home early from work. He looked tired and stressed. He told Adora that his big business deal had fallen through and he had lost a lot of money. He had a terrible headache and needed to rest. He went straight to the bedroom. Adora's eyes lit up. She turned to Sod and said sweetly, "Go upstairs and clean the guest rooms." "Yes, madam," Sod replied. But something in Adora's voice made her suspicious. Sod went upstairs, but she didn't clean. She stayed at the top of the staircase, where she could see into the kitchen through the railings. Adora entered the kitchen and closed the door, but not fully. There was a small gap. Sod bent slightly and watched. Adora took out Cunnel's favorite china cup, the one he used for his evening tea. She boiled water, made tea, added sugar, and stirred. Then she paused, looked around carefully, and peeked out of the door. She didn't see Sod hidden quietly above. Satisfied, she went back to the counter and reached into her expensive handbag. She pulled out a small glass bottle, no bigger than her thumb, with a white cap. She held it up to the light and smiled. This was it, the poison. Sod froze. Her heart was beating loudly in her ears. Adora unscrewed the cap and tilted the bottle over Cunnel's tea. White powder poured into the hot liquid. She poured almost all of it, then closed the bottle and slipped it back into her bag. She stirred and stirred until the powder disappeared. The tea looked normal. No one would suspect. Adora lifted the cup to her nose, smelled it, then placed it neatly on a tray with a napkin. She was ready. Adora picked up the tray and walked out of the kitchen, her heels clicking on the marble floor as she headed towards the bedroom. Sod's mind raced. If she ran down now, Adora would hide the tea. If she went to call Cunnel, Adora could throw it away and try again later. Sod needed Cunnel to see with his own eyes. This was the moment. No more time. Sod ran down the stairs as fast as she could. She wasn't thinking about losing her job anymore. She wasn't thinking about her mother's medicine. She was thinking only of saving Cunnel's life. Adora reached the bedroom door, balanced the tray on one hand, and knocked softly. "Come in," Cunnel's tired voice answered. She walked in with her fake loving smile. "My dear," she said gently, "I brought you some tea. It will help with your headache. Drink everything, and you'll feel better." Cunnel smiled weakly. "Thank you, my dear. You're so thoughtful." He stretched out his hand toward the cup. His fingers were almost touching it. At that exact second, the door burst open. Sod ran into the room, eyes wide with fear, breathing hard, hands shaking. Before anyone could speak, she screamed from the depth of her soul. "Don't drink it, sir. Master Cunnel, please don't drink that tea. Please, sir." The scream echoed through the room. Cunnel's hand froze. He pulled it back quickly and stared at her in confusion. "What are you talking about?" his eyes seemed to ask. Adora's face changed instantly. The sweet smile disappeared. Her eyes became sharp and angry. The tray trembled in her hands, the cup rattling against the saucer. "What is the meaning of this?" she hissed. "How dare you burst in here like a mad girl? Have you lost your mind? Get out now. You're fired." But Sod did not move. She was shaking, but she stood her ground and looked straight at Cunnel. "Sir, please," she said, tears running down her face. "Don't drink that tea. I saw Madam pour white powder from a small bottle into your cup in the kitchen. I saw it with my own eyes. Please, sir, the tea is not safe." The room went silent. Cunnel looked at the tea, then at his wife, then at Sod. Why would his wife poison him? It made no sense. But why would Sod lie? She had always been honest and hardworking. Adora exploded. "She is lying. This foolish village girl is jealous of me. She wants to destroy our marriage. She wants you for herself. Do not believe her." But Cunnel was a smart man. He watched his wife closely. He saw the panic in her eyes, the sweat forming on her forehead, the way her hands shook. These were not the signs of an innocent woman. He stood up slowly. "Adora," he said in a calm but firm voice, "give me that cup." "No," she snapped. "This is nonsense. How can you doubt your wife of 10 years because of a maid?" "Give me the cup," he repeated, voice colder. "Or I will take it from you." Adora clutched the tray to her chest, but Cunnel grabbed it strongly. The tea sloshed, some spilling on the floor. He lifted the cup and stared at it. It looked like normal tea. It smelled like normal tea. But if Sod was telling the truth, this cup held death. Sod spoke again, voice trembling. "Sir, please check Madam's handbag. You will find the bottle with the white powder inside." Cunnel turned to Adora's designer bag on the dresser. Her face went pale. "You cannot search my personal things," she protested. "That's an invasion of privacy. I'm your wife. You should trust me." But Cunnel was already at the bag. He opened it and searched. Makeup, keys, phone, wallet, tissue. Then his fingers touched something small and hard. He pulled it out. A small glass bottle with a white cap. Inside, white powder. Exactly as Sod had described. Cunnel's voice shook. "Adora, what is this?" Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. No words came out. Her eyes were full of pure terror. She had been caught. Adora suddenly dropped to her knees. The proud, arrogant woman became small and pitiful. "I'm sorry," she cried, clinging to his legs. "I'm so sorry, my husband. Please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. Please don't call the police. Think of our 10 years together. Think of everything we've been through. I made a mistake. Please forgive me." Cunnel pulled his legs away like she was something dirty. "For 10 years I loved you," he said quietly. "I gave you everything. And this is what you do. You try to kill me. Why, Adora? What did I do to deserve this?" She sobbed louder, but he was done. He called his personal doctor, Dr. Bello, told him to come immediately with emergency testing. Then he called his longtime lawyer, Barrister Okafor, and his head of security, Musa, to come at once. When Dr. Bello arrived, Cunnel handed him the cup and the bottle. "Please test this," he said. "I need to know what is inside." The doctor examined the bottle, and his face darkened. "This looks like poison," he said. "I'll take it to the lab right away. If you were planning to drink this tea, thank God you did not." He left to run tests. Barrister Okafor listened to the story, his face grave. "Mr. Cunnel, this is attempted murder," he said. "We must involve the police. This is bigger than a family issue." Musa was furious. "Madam Adora, after everything Olga did for you, how could you do this? This is wickedness." Cunnel raised a hand. "Wait," he said quietly. "Let's hear the doctor's result first." They waited in tense silence. Cunnel asked Sod to sit and tell him everything from the beginning. Cola's visits, the secret smiles, the locked doors, the conversation about killing him and taking his wealth. Barrister Okafor wrote everything down. The betrayal cut deep. Not just greed, but adultery and conspiracy to kill. Adora tried to protect her lover, insisting he knew nothing about the poison, but in her panic she accidentally confessed that the idea was hers. "You heard her," Barrister Okafor said. She admitted it herself. An hour later, Dr. Bello returned with the lab results. His face said it all. "Mr. Cunnel," he began slowly, "that tea contained a very strong poison. It is cyanide, one of the deadliest poisons in the world. If you had drunk that full cup, you would have died in 1 to 2 hours. It would have looked like a heart attack to anyone who didn't know better." The room erupted. Musa shouted at Adora, calling her a demon. Barrister Okafor immediately phoned the police. Dr. Bello shook his head sadly. Adora collapsed on the floor, crying, "My life is over. I'm finished. Oh God, what have I done?" But no one pitied her. She had shown no mercy when she was planning Cunnel's slow death. Within minutes, police arrived, led by Inspector Dinladi, a serious man with a thick mustache. He listened to Cunnel, to Sod, examined the lab results, the bottle, the tea. It was one of the clearest attempted murder cases he had seen. "Adora Balogun," he said. "You are under arrest for attempted murder of your husband, Mr. Cunnel Balogun. You have the right to remain silent." They put handcuffs on her wrists. Her expensive bracelets clanged against the cold metal. The contrast was sharp, a rich woman brought low by her own evil. Connell added, "There is another man involved. His name is Kola. He has been having an affair with my wife. They planned this together." At first, Adora tried to protect Kola, but when pressured, she finally gave his full name and address at a luxury apartment building in Victoria Island. The police radioed other officers to arrest him immediately. As they led Adora out, she paused in front of Saad. "You are braver than I ever was," she whispered through tears. "You did what was right even though you could have lost everything. I did what was wrong even though I had everything. You are the better person. Thank you for stopping me from becoming a murderer." Then she was taken away. Neighbors peeped from their balconies, shocked to see the billionaire's glamorous wife in handcuffs. Within half an hour, police called back. They had caught Kola trying to escape through the back of his apartment. His phone was full of incriminating messages, chats with Adora about the poison, plans to share Connell's wealth, romantic messages proving their affair. The evidence was complete. Back at the mansion, Connell finally sat on his bed. The reality of how close he had come to death hit him hard. If not for Sada's scream, he would have been dead. His hands shook. His breathing turned shallow. Dr. Bello gave him something to calm his nerves. "You're safe now," the doctor said gently. "The danger has passed. Thanks to this young woman, you are alive." He turned to Saad. "Young lady, what you did today took great courage. You risked everything to save your master. May God bless you." Saad felt shy. "My mother always told me that evil wins when good people do nothing," she said softly. I could not keep quiet. The story spread across Lagos and all of Nigeria like wildfire. By the next morning, every blog and newspaper had headlines like, "Billionaire's wife arrested for poison plot. Brave maid saves Lagos tycoon from death." Television stations showed footage of Adora and Kola being taken to prison. Social media exploded. Some people said they always knew Adora was fake, that her smile never reached her eyes. Others were shocked. Everyone agreed on one thing. Saad was a true hero. Many media houses wanted to interview her, but she refused. She didn't want fame. She just wanted to work and care for her mother. Connell respected her wishes and told his lawyer to keep reporters away from her. Weeks later, the court case began. The courtroom was full every day. Adora, once the glamorous society wife, now sat in the defendant's box wearing a simple prison uniform. No makeup, no jewelry, just fear. The prosecutor presented the evidence, one by one. The poison bottle, the test results, Dr. Bello's testimony, the messages on Kola's phone. Then Saad took the stand. She spoke clearly and honestly about everything she saw and heard. The whole room listened, stunned by the level of wickedness that had almost gone unnoticed behind the high walls of a Lagos mansion. And the whole room also understood one thing. If not for one poor village girl with a brave heart and a loud scream, a billionaire would be dead, and evil would have won. So Bestie, that one touched deep, didn't it? Life really has a funny way of teaching us lessons through people we least expect. If you felt the story like I did, drop it in the comments. And don't forget, your bestie's got more stories coming your way, so hit subscribe and stay close. Till next time, stay kind, stay real, and stay my bestie.